What's up guys, we got the Ninja CREAMi Deluxe and we got the Ninja CREAMi Swirl. I feel like a lot of people have been asking, is it actually worth it to upgrade to the Swirl? So today I kind of just want to break down each one so you can see all the features that these two have. I'll show you guys what the ice cream actually looks like that they can make. I'll show you guys the Swirl, the soft serve section as well. So that way you can see for yourself, is this really worth it to upgrade? Or just so you can know which one is best for you if it's your first Ninja CREAMi. So let's get into the video. So here's what they actually look like up close. As you can tell, the Ninja CREAMi is definitely a lot bigger than the Ninja Deluxe. And so first off, if you don't have a lot of space in your kitchen or your pantry and you don't have a place to store this, that's one thing to think about. This machine is basically like twice the size of the Ninja Deluxe, so it is quite a bit bigger machine. Here you can see from the side, so that's just something to think about. But when we're talking about the Ninja Swirl, essentially this side of the Swirl is almost the same of the Ninja Deluxe. On the Deluxe, you have a bunch of different ice cream options. You actually have drinkable options and scoopable options, whereas it's a little bit different on the Ninja Swirl. You do have some drinking options as well, however, there's a little bit less options. So on the Swirl, you have frozen yogurt, fruit whip, frozen custard, gelato, sorbet, and milkshake mode. You also have ice cream mode, creamy fit mode, and then light ice cream mode. So you actually get a booklet of different recipes and things that you can use, and the creamy fit program is basically like protein ice cream that you can use. And this one has a specific mode for that, which is pretty cool. And then going over here to the Deluxe, you actually have quite a bit more options as far as ice cream goes. However, you don't have that creamy fit option, which I think is perfectly fine. Honestly, I don't notice that big of a difference between the creamy fit and the ice cream. But going over here, as you can see, over here you have scoopable options and drinkable options. So you have creamicino, frozen drink, slushy, milkshake, Italian ice, frozen yogurt, gelato, sorbet, light ice cream. So there's quite a bit more. There's basically 8 options on the Swirl, and then on the Deluxe there's 10. There's basically 2 more options on the Deluxe. Also on the Deluxe, you have the option to just mix the top of the container, the full container, or the bottom of the container. And I think the reason why they're doing that on this one is just because the container is actually a bit larger. And so if you did eat like half of your ice cream and you just have the bottom left, and you put it back in the freezer, you can come back and just mix the bottom. That way it goes a lot faster. And that brings me to my next point. Another thing that's different about these two ice cream makers is that the Ninja CREAMi Deluxe is going to be able to fit or make a lot more ice cream than the Ninja CREAMi Swirl. And so it's actually kind of annoying they did this, but they made different pint sizes. And so now you have the pint size on the Swirl quite a bit smaller. And I think that's just so it can fit in the Swirl. And so if you want to have a lot of ice cream at the same time, the Deluxe might be the better option. However, you can just make multiple pints if you want, and you can just have those ready and just continue to mix them. So that's not really a huge problem because you can just mix it again with a different pint. However, if you just want to mix it one time, the container is going to be bigger on the Ninja CREAMi Deluxe. And here's what the actual pints look like. This is the Deluxe one, and this is the Ninja CREAMi Swirl. So as you can see, they have different pints now. This one's quite a bit smaller. They're about the same height. However, as you can see right here, I don't know if you can tell, the Ninja CREAMi Swirl is quite a bit smaller. I feel like you can fit probably double the amount of ice cream in the Deluxe versus the Swirl. And you have this kind of new attachment right here that allows you to do that soft serve ice cream as well, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And going along with the pints, one thing that's really nice about just both these machines and all the Ninja CREAMi is that it's super easy to make ice cream. You can just look up recipes online of actual ice cream. They have a booklet that comes with it in the Ninja CREAMi where it has just a bunch of recipes that you can make. They have protein recipes. It's just super easy to make ice cream. And the protein options are super awesome because you hardly even have to put anything in them. Like on both of these, I have the same recipe. So all I put is milk, some sugar-free pudding mix, chocolate pudding mix, and then I put protein powder. That's it. Literally 3 ingredients of these both, and they both taste amazing. They taste like chocolate ice cream, which is pretty awesome how easy it is to actually make this. And you don't have to add a million ingredients to make ice cream. You can just add, 3 ingredients. You can still get really good ice cream. But essentially all you do is you just put those ingredients in here, you mix it up with a spoon or a mixer, and then you put this cap on, and then you put it in the freezer for 24 hours. And so both of these have been in the freezer for about 24 hours. And once you do that, you'll open it up and it'll look something like this. One thing I did want to mention on the Ninja CREAMi, when you do take it out of the freezer, if it does have a little bump in the middle, you want to take a spoon and just take out that middle part. Just because when you put it on the mixer, basically a blade's going to go down here and mix up the ice cream, and you want to make sure that it's flat so that way it doesn't mess up the machine or it doesn't, cut up this plastic container. And so you just want to remove that little mound right there. But once you do that, and this is frozen like this for 24 hours or around 24 hours, then you're good to go and you can actually put them in the machine. And so when you're ready to actually make the ice cream, they both have these little containers right here. And so all you do is there's a little lock button on each side. On this one, it's over here. And all you would do is you just click this lock button right here, and then you can actually just pull this out. Here's this one right here. And then once you have those out, you just slide these in the bottom, as you can see, the Deluxe, it has kind of these notches, and you just want to line those notches up with this container right here until it clicks into place. This one right here, you want to line up this part, basically the swirl part, into the container like this. So you just line it up like this, boom, and now it's basically locked into place and you're ready to go. And just so you guys can see, this container, it's not going to fit into this one. As you can see, it's not going to lock into the place just because it's much bigger and it has those little notches on the bottom. And so if you do want to get extra containers for the Swirl, you know, you can't use the same as your Deluxe machine. You have to get new containers, but it does come with 2 containers when you get the Swirl. And then once you do that, you're just going to take these lids right here. As you can see, the cutter head right here actually connects to the machine over here, and this will actually drop down into the ice cream to essentially mix it. And all you do is you just want to line it up. Actually, this is for the Swirl. So for this one, you just line it up to the side like this, boom, like this, and then you just lock it into place. And once you slide it like this, it'll be locked and it's not going to come off. And same thing with this one. You just kind of put it to the side like this. Boom, you kind of got to find the sweet spot and then you just lock it into place. And once you lock it in place, it's good to go. And now you can actually put it into the machines. All right, I had to move this over here now so that we're closer to an outlet, but you just have to plug it in to a normal outlet. And then what you can do is you slide the CREAMi in right here and then you twist it like this until it locks into place. Once it's locked in, now you're ready to go. And then you can click right here, the power button, it'll turn on and you can choose, you know, top, full, bottom. I'm just gonna do full right now, even though it's about only like halfway full. And once you click full, what you can do is then you can choose the ice cream mode. We'll just do ice cream. And as you can see, when you move this dial, depending on which ice cream you're making, it'll adjust. You have a little timer here that you can see how long it'll take to make. And so when you go to just ice cream, it shows about 2 minutes. And since it's halfway, it might be a little bit less, but I'll turn it on for you guys. You just click this button to start it and you guys can see what it actually sounds like when it's on. All right, so I'm gonna turn it on right now. As you can see, it's turning on. And this is why you'd want to put bottom. I put full, just because it's gonna start at the top and go to the bottom. But if you just click bottom, it'll go to the bottom, you know, right away, and it'll be quite a bit faster. All right, so now it actually started getting to the ice cream. Got a little bit louder now. So it just ended now. Now what you can do is you can go like this, or you click this button right here. It'll unlock, and then you can pull this out, and let's see what our ice cream looks like. All right, so I pulled it out, and here's what the ice cream looks like. As you can see, it's quite a bit chalky. Once it gets like this, sometimes it'll do this, depending on your mix, especially with like protein stuff, is you can just get a spoon and kind of mix it inside, and then you just click respin. So down here, there's actually a respin button. There's actually a mix-in section too, which I forgot to mention. You can put mix-ins here. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, and then we'll respin and see what it looks like. All right, so I mixed it up. I actually added a little bit of liquid in there as well, and then now we're gonna respin, and we'll see what it looks like. And here we go. All right, so here's what it looks like after the respin, and we might have to do it one more time. As you can see though, the outside, really nice quality ice cream. However, the inside, the middle right there, is kind of a little bit chalky, and so I might mix it one more time. So here's what it looks like after the third mix in, and now as you can see, you got super creamy, awesome ice cream right here. Protein ice cream. I think this has like 20 grams of protein or something like that in it because of how much protein I put in it. But look at that, pretty awesome. With 3 ingredients, that is pretty amazing for ice cream. And I forgot to mention that you can actually add mix-ins too, so I'm gonna show you guys what the mix-in feature looks like. We got some kind of Oreos right here, classic cream snacks, and we're going to put them in there as well. So when you do mix-ins this big, you kind of want to break them up into a couple little pieces, and I'm just gonna do 2 right now, like this, boom, and kind of push them down in the middle, and then you just click this mix-in feature and it'll actually mix it together. So we'll go bottom because it's close to the bottom, and then we'll go mix-in. Once you click that, it'll start mixing it together. All right, here's what it looks like after the mix-in. Look at how good that looks right there. It literally crunches up the Oreos, it mixes it out throughout the whole thing, and now we got cookies and cream ice cream. Pretty awesome. So it does make great ice cream, but as you can see, it took about, 2 more respins, so 3 spins in total. I probably could have mixed in the Oreos after the second spin instead of doing a third respin. It probably would look like this too. But it takes basically like 3 times to make this protein ice cream. Now, if I was using regular, ice cream ingredients, it probably would do it on the first spin. But because I did protein, it took a couple times. So that's with the Ninja CREAMi Deluxe. Now I'll show you guys with the same ingredients, same amount and everything. I'll show you guys what it looks like on the Swirl. All right, so now we got the Swirl. Same thing, you just slide it in like this. Make sure it locks into place. and then you just twist it all the way up. Sorry, it's a little hard with one hand. Twist it all the way up until it locks into place, and now you're ready to go. Once you turn it on like this, you can click on, you can click soft serve like this, and then once you click the option that you want, it'll automatically start. So I have it plugged in right now, and we're just gonna do ice cream just like the Deluxe, and boom. So I can see it does take a little bit longer. It's saying 4 minutes on this instead of like 2 minutes on the Deluxe. All right, so it just got done. It did take a little bit longer, like I said, about 4 minutes, so a little bit longer than the Deluxe, but now you can just pull it out and we'll see what it looks like. I wanted to mention as well, actually, if you weren't planning on using soft serve, you can just use scoop. So if you just want to eat it, with a spoon in a bowl, click scoop instead of soft serve, but we're gonna do soft serve, so I'm gonna do this. But let's see what it looks like. Oh, gotta take this off, and boom. Look at how thick that looks. Pretty awesome. I feel like it's already pretty close to being ready, and it's actually creamy, and boom, pretty nice looking ice cream right there. So as you can see, it only took about one time. Maybe I could run it. I'm probably gonna run it one more time, or I'm just gonna do a mix-in right now, and then we'll see what it looks like after the mix-in. But that's one thing to think about. The Deluxe took like 3 spins to get that consistency. This one's pretty much already ready to go after 1 spin. So the spin does take a little bit longer. However, I feel like it has a little bit more powerful of a motor. I feel like it's a little bit quieter as well. I don't know if you guys can hear the difference, but the ice cream is basically almost ready after 1 spin. But now I'll just put some mix-ins in and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so I got 2 Oreos in there, just like the other one. And now we're going to put this in and do a respin. Just click mix in, and it only takes about a minute to mix it in. We'll see what it looks like. All right, we just took it out after the mix in, and look at that, man. Does that not look amazing? Cookies and cream ice cream right here. All the Oreos are mixed in. So pretty awesome to see that you can get, that kind of consistency after 1 and just a mix in. And this is with protein ice cream, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that just looks like regular ice cream right here. I'll show you guys too next to the Deluxe. So here's what it looks like. It did melt a little bit just because it's been sitting out. But look at that. I feel like it is a little bit thicker maybe on the Swirl, but pretty awesome looking ice cream right here. Yeah, this one's definitely melted a little bit now because it's been sitting out a little bit, but there we go. Both of them make great ice cream. Just after those tests, you can see I feel like the Deluxe, it takes a couple more spins, at least with protein ice cream, to get that consistency, versus the Swirl. Now I'll show you guys though, what you can actually do with the Swirl is now you can make soft serve ice cream with this. All right, so when you want to make soft serve with the Swirl, now what we can do is you get one of these lids that it comes with, and you actually slide on this lid. So you can take this out of here, and then you're just gonna want to twist on this lid right here. And then once this lid is twisted on, now what we can do is we just slide this into place. You line this one up right here, and then you lock it, you twist it in like this, it locks into place. And now we're ready to go. What you wanna do as well on this, on the lid, when you want to open it, when you wanna actually have the soft serve, you open it. When you're not using it, you close it. And now we're ready to have soft serve ice cream. And all you do, now that it's open, it's ready, you're just gonna pull down this lever right here, and the soft serve ice cream will begin to come out. And then right here, you can slide this out as well, so that while you're making the soft serve ice cream, falls on here and doesn't fall on the table, which is also a pretty cool, little feature that the Swirl has. All right, so I got my cone here, and now we're gonna make some soft serve ice cream. It is you kind of got to get a feel for it at first to see, how fast the ice cream comes out. But essentially, once you put this down, it'll start making a noise. And I'll stop it real quick. It'll make a noise, and essentially what it's doing is it's going to push, there's a little motor that's going to push this ice cream out, so that way the ice cream will start coming out right here. So, and here we go. So it does take a second to push it out. I can see that it's pushing it now, so it should start coming out here in a second. And depending on how fast you want the ice cream to come out, you can pull it all the way down or not. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Is that not amazing, guys? That is soft serve ice cream right there. Here's a better look at it so you guys can see. Pretty awesome. Look at how thick that is, and that's with Oreos in it. One thing I do want to mention actually is if you do have mix-ins that are really big, when you do the mix-in setting, it should break it up quite a bit. But if it's a really hard, candy or something like that, you want to make sure that the mix-in is able to fit through this hole right here. If it's not, then you're probably not going to do the soft serve setting. But with these Oreo snacks, it was able to fit perfectly, and now we have perfect soft serve ice cream. Look at that. Pretty amazing. Once you're done using the soft serve, you'll just click retract, and then this will begin to retract right here. If you don't click retract, you're not gonna be able to remove this. But once you click retract, this will go back. Once it's locked into place, then you can close this. So you can go close. And now that it's fully retracted, now you can press this to release it. And then you can twist it, and now you can take it out, and you can put the cap back on. You can store the rest of this in the fridge if you want. It's actually insane. This is protein ice cream right here, and it literally tastes like cookies and cream ice cream. I will say, when you do make protein ice cream, you got to get the right protein powder. Sometimes the protein powder can taste super proteiny. It doesn't taste like regular ice cream. I found a good mixture though with some protein powder that I got, just regular chocolate protein powder. With the Oreos, honestly, it pretty much tastes like regular ice cream, and it has like 20 grams of protein in it. So pretty awesome. And yeah, the soft serve feature of the Swirl works amazing, honestly. All right, so I hope I can kind of help you guys see the different features and benefits of each machine. One thing I did want to mention as well that's cool about both these machines is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but these machines are basically completely clean. And one thing that's cool about these is that the machines themselves, they don't get ice cream on them for the most part unless you spill it on it. But the only thing that you really have to clean is those pints where you take the ice cream out and the lid, and those are all dishwasher safe. I think you can't put it on the heated setting, but they're all dishwasher safe, and so you can just throw those in the dishwasher after, rinse them off from the dishwasher, but you don't have to clean the actual machines, which is a pretty cool feature that Ninja had, and that's for both of these as well. So it's really easy to clean them also. But as far as my overall thoughts, I feel like the Ninja Swirl is definitely worth it. I feel like the machine just works a little bit better. It's got a better motor or something, just because I feel like it helps mix the ice cream quite a bit better on one try. You can still get the same consistency with the Ninja Deluxe if you run multiple times. That may just be for protein ice cream too. For regular ice cream, it may be easier, just on one time. But I feel like it does mix the ice cream a little bit better. I feel like it is a little bit quieter as well. So if, the loud noise is something that bothers you, if you're making ice cream at nighttime, if you have kids sleeping or something like that, and you don't want it to be as loud, I feel like the Ninja Swirl might be a little bit better option for that. However, this does have a couple more options for ice cream modes. But if you are like a soft serve fan, or you like soft serve, I think this is definitely worth it. I mean, it works perfectly in my opinion. As you guys can see, the soft serve, it worked amazing. And so I feel like it's personally worth it to upgrade to this, especially if you don't have a Ninja CREAMi at all. If you're thinking about getting your first one, I'd recommend just getting this if you have the space for it. Now, it is quite a bit bigger than the Deluxe. It's about double the size. So if you don't have room for it, that's one thing to think about as well. But if you do have the storage for it, I definitely recommend getting this as your first Ninja CREAMi. If you already have the Deluxe, if you like soft serve ice cream, I would definitely recommend upgrading. If you don't, then it's probably not worth it. If you don't like soft serve ice cream, it's probably not worth it, just because you can make the same ice cream with a Ninja Deluxe, and you have a little bit more options as well. So if you're just making for the ice cream, maybe the Deluxe is the way to go, or if you don't have enough space. But if you like soft serve, if you have the space, I'd definitely recommend upgrading to the Ninja Swirl, because it's an awesome option in my opinion. Both of them just make great ice cream. So awesome machines. It's pretty sweet to get 20 grams of protein in ice cream. So definitely recommend checking these out if you're looking at making your own ice cream from home.